Friend, you are welcome to join with us of the Fellowship of Isis in the celebration of the Athenaea, the mighty ceremony performed every year at the spring equinox in ancient Athens. Anoint your brow with water. This will develop your third eye. Now sit back and relax. Do not totally lose consciousness, for you want to enjoy this in your spirit, soul, and body. Come to meet the goddess of wisdom. Rise now from your earthly consciousness up into the sky. Think of the Olympians. They are, they were, and shall be evermore. Rise into the stars. Gradually the scene changes. It is a beautiful golden afternoon of spring in Ireland. Look down. You see a stately grey castle with battlements, with a straight avenue of lime trees leading to it. There is a rectangle of yew trees protecting it, and ornamental gardens and shrubs, all laid out in the classical mode, and a classical belvedere with columns. A company is assembled around the belvedere. The archpriest speaks words of welcome and tells the participants that the procession to the temple for the Athenaea is to begin.
Friends, we are assembled to celebrate the ancient Athenian festival of the Athenaea. The singer Orpheus instituted the Athenaea in honor of Pallas Athena, goddess of power, wisdom, and the art. At this time of the vernal equinox of equal days and nights, when the sun leaves the tide fishes for the ram, Athenians and foreign visitors formed a joyful procession. They climbed the hill of the Acropolis and brought to the Parthenon the peplum of Athena.
The priestess displays a white sleeveless garment embroidered with gold.
Behold the peplum of Athena! Let us follow the ancient custom and bring it to the temple of the goddess. May works of art and crafts be carried to her altar by the celebrants.
Now there is a beautiful procession formed. There are children wearing many colours and garlands of flowers. There is a priest of Athena waving heavy incense to lead the procession. He is followed by all these children who are enjoying themselves, laughing and even chatting among themselves. They are looking forward to this. And followed them are young girls and young men in many colours of various, whatever they suits them, whatever they feel like wearing. Following these is a procession of older people, and also the priests and priestesses of the goddess in her many forms, and indeed of the god. For did not Athena descend upon Jove, bringing him wisdom? The procession is making its way, first in a circle round the belvedere, beautiful view, and they wind their way towards the south-east of the castle. There is a portico, and above it a terracotta image of the goddess. They begin to make procession to a drum beat into the temple of Isis of many names, and we see a mosaic of Oedipus facing the mystery of the Sphinx. We pass through the doorway of the temple, over which is the Cretan goddess upholding two snakes of power. The procession is now winding its way down the temple, past lighted shrines, the chapel of the mothers, they pause and pay reverence to the earth mother of all. There is the sound of a bell as they approach the holy shrine of the well within the temple. We realize from the stately music that this is a festival of the arts. Athena is goddess of the arts. For we notice that people are bearing scrolls of their paintings, and in the temple is a display of paintings and sculptures. An aisle is formed to allow the archpriestess to bear the peplum of Athenaea, finely woven work of art, to present it at the well of inspiration. All arts are honoured by Athena and the muses, the art of playwriting, poetry, music, sculpture, and above all of the sacred mysteries of Olympus. But what is this? Suddenly we see a statue, totally veiled in white, embroidered with gold, seated by the well. What is this? This is a priestess in trance. The archpriest approaches her. He is to invoke the oracle.
Pallas Athena, goddess of wisdom, come to thy priestess now, that she may be inspired with thy divine spirit. Endow us with thy wisdom and thy might, that thy ancient glories may once more shine before the world.
All gaze, wondering if the oracle will be vouchsafed, for the oracle has been silent for 1,500 or 2,000 years. Now the oracle of the goddess returns, for Those who are psychic see a movement in the air like steam. Some see clouds of light and a sphere of light floating over the head of the priestess. Some even see the form of the goddess. Suddenly, a voice speaks. It has been written that the Iron Age should prevail over the earth, bringing with it suffering, toil, and evil through neglect of the deities. Its darkness is not the holy night of the owl of wisdom, but the limitation of ignorance. Its light is a transient glow that comes from superficial knowledge gained from curious probing, rather than the spiritual illumination that emanates from the deities. It was not necessary for the world of men to choose the age of iron, but destiny that the choice be offered. For what goodness is there in worshipping the gods and goddesses when they reveal themselves easily to all? It is simple to satisfy curiosity, but the labour of years of experience to gain wisdom. Sentiment is pleasant, but passing. The warmth of love is ever renewing. Understand the meaning of what I am, and you will gain comprehension of your own lives and destiny. I am not divided against myself. Bright Pallas, with her spear of light, does not war with the dark owl of night. Nor do the terrible flames of the inner sun that are veiled upon my shield attack Athena, the teacher of philosophy and the art. I am holy. Be ye holy. Be at peace within yourselves and cease from your philosophical warring. In verity, the catastrophes of the Iron Age are due to deep division between mortals and the deities, between mankind and nature, and between differing ideas which are but the quivering reflections of absolute truth. The veil upon my shield is beginning to wear thin, and the glory of the rays of Medusa become apparent to earthly gaze. The inner power of the atom has been violently exposed and reduces the physical body to the shadow which in verity it is. My spear of light brings divine inspiration to the mind, while my owl carries messages of warning from the dark rulers of the universe, which will be known to be what it is, whole and perfect. On your troubled earth, mortals struggle and learn through harsh experience to put on immortality, which in truth is latent in every creature. A bird knows more of Elysium than doth mankind. Do not reject any aspect of the universe, but recognize it as part of a glorious pleroma in which even suffering and evil are transformed through wisdom into good. Listen for my voice. I speak in the silence. all give thanks for the oracle by placing their hands together. The priestess is allowed slowly to return from trance, a fellow priestess giving her well water. There's such silence after the oracle that none chant or speak as they slowly receive water on each brow by a priestess who speaks. May you receive true vision. May you receive true vision. The procession passes 9 pillars and then passes through 2 pillars before the high altar. It is covered with a green cloth. On it are 6 white candles burning incense, and the Palladium, which is the statue of the goddess Athena, once revered in Troy town, was stolen by the Greeks, who showed greater wisdom, and then by the Romans and many another great civilization. And when wisdom leaves a land and an empire, the Palladium goes with it. All form a procession, and the children are first to recover from the oracle. They make a chant, all calling upon the goddess. We sing of Pallas Athena, the glorious goddess, bright-eyed, inventive, unbending of heart, pure virgin, Saviour of cities, Tritogenaia. She is arrayed in flashing gold. All seizes all the gods who gaze upon her. Evoe Athena, steps forward and offers incense.
We offer incense to thee, the goddess Pallas Athena. Thou dost bear the owl of wisdom upon thy shoulder, and wieldest the spear of light. From thy shield come the life-giving Medusa rays, veiled from human sight. Bestow upon us the power and the wisdom to use it well. Inspire our works of learning and of the arts.
I offer incense to thee, the god Zeus. Thou art chiefest among the gods, and greatest, all-seeing, the fulfiller, who whispers words of wisdom. Upon thy immortal head, bright Pallas, descended in flashing flames, be gracious to us, all-knowing son of Kronos, and give us the gift of enjoyment and many friends.
The priestess now reaches the climax of the ceremony by placing the peplum on the altar as work of art.
We present thy peplum, noble goddess. Let the celebrants offer their gifts.
Now there's a procession of gifts, and some of the most delightful are little paintings and clay figures offered by the children, made in plasticine or whatever they have done, and the others bring their scrolls of writings, poetry. We notice some tapes. Many are gifted with musical gifts, We watch them, and the priestesses and priests of the fellowship accept and bless them and lay them at the foot of the altar. The priest speaks.
Divine Athena, accept these offerings and works to thee, who art the inspirer of them. At this auspicious festival of spring, it was the custom of the Athenians to present a play in honour of thee. Let the players enact their mystery.
All enjoy a mystery. The priesthood leave the chancel and players take their place. We observe one god appearing. He is wearing a golden winged helmet, a yellow robe, and bears the wand of Mercury, the caduceus, which is a rod with serpents crossing at 4 places, and it is crowned with a winged disc. Hermes speaks.
I travel through the spheres and regard the doings of Olympians and Titans, the denizens of Elysium and Hades, with impartial eye. Full many a strange story I can tell, but none more worthy of note than that of the contest between Athena and Arachne. Ovid and many other poets have told the tale, but from a god learn what really happened.
Steps forward, wearing a golden tiara and long white robes embroidered delicately with gold, the peplum of the first priestess of Athenaea, no less than Pandroses.
Learn of Arachne from me, Pandroses, first priestess of divine Pallas Athena. This maiden Arachne was renowned neither for her family nor her place of birth, but for her art alone. Her father was Idmon of Colophon, who tinged the spongy wool with Phoenician purple. Her mother was dead, but she too was amongst the vulgar, and this girl dared to boast of her superiority to a great goddess.
Yet Arachne, though meanly born, had by her ingenuity acquired a memorable name through all the cities of Lydia. The naiads of Pactolus forsook their streams, and the nymphs of Tymolus left their vineyards to admire her weaving.
Here a whole lot of lovely nymphs skip in. They are all wearing pale colours of a pre-Raphaelite sort, and golden headbands. The first nymph speaks. We delight to view her work, not only for its fidelity to nature, but for her grace in the doing of it. Surely she is inspired by Pallas.
Yet Arachne will have none of this. She disdains divine inspiration from so great a mistress.
Ah, the soft music ceases. A girl steps forward who looks really like a witch. She has black, untidy hair, uncombed. Her peplum is none too clean and hitched up with a cord, and she has an arrogant air. All the world marvels at my art. What matters lowly birth when I have such genius? All that I do has the very imprint of nature herself, nor does it owe anything to an Olympian goddess. My mortal snakes that wind around my leafy trees, my plungy white horses with flying manes, my little lizards basking on hot rocks, have the very touch of life. Why, a wasp flew in at my window and settled on my pictured plums. My mind bids my nimble fingers create great works, nor are they inspired by any divinity dwelling in far-off clouds.
Blasphemy, wretched girl, withdraw thy rash words.
Not I. No way. I do not fear the gods. Let her, this Pallas Athena, if she can hear me, come to a trial of skill. Indeed, there is no penalty I will not suffer if I am overcome. Friends, I want you to meditate, as do the company, on the words of Arachne. Do you believe in the Olympians? Do you believe in God or Goddess? Do you believe there is an outside power that inspires us? We may laugh at this play that Arachne is giving cheek, but are we not all like this nowadays? We claim that everything we write comes from our subconscious, ourselves. Our works of science owes nothing to inspiration, we claim. All is through study, through hard work, measurement, experiment. We even experiment on animals. We create barbarous deeds in order to show that we are better than gods and goddesses, for we believe we are all that exists and the deities do not. Look in your own soul. Do you accept the divine? All the company do this as the priestess speaks such words. Do you not sometimes feel a tingling in your head, your brow, that suggests inspiration? Do you not begin to feel it now, tingling? Why should the deities be just archetypes, like a dressmaker's plan? Why are we nature's last word? Why should there not be greater beings who have given birth to us? How can we tell? Do you feel a warm glowing in your heart? We may not know, we can hope. And as we hope, we are receptive. We open yourselves now to feel inspiration. Awareness can come from a voice in the silence where no being is seen. May come from a feeling in a wood, love for a tree, music, art. The real that comes through what we call real. Is this world real? It is transient. Our works of art try to capture some inner reality. Feel inspiration for your own love of work, your own beauty. Come through. The actors turn towards Arachne, praying for her conversion, her awakening, her acceptance of the divine. Her face is veiled by her long dark hair. In the temple of Isis, in deep meditation, the mortal genius, Arachne, has defied not only the goddess Pallas Athene, but the very existence of the Olympians. The high priestess Pandrosus has begged her to withdraw her rash words, but Arachne has said she will suffer any penalty if she loses a trial of skill with Athena. Pandrosus speaks.
When Arachne's impious words reached the ears of the goddess, uttered by a mortal, she descended from high Olympus to Lydia. She disguised herself as an aged crone, added false grey hairs to her temples, and supported her tottering limbs with a staff.
A very old woman enters. She is leaning upon a staff and muffled with a cloak. With weak steps, she approaches and addresses Arachne.
Young weaver, I heard your proud boast. Despise not my advice, for old age is not in everything to be shunned. Experience comes from riper years. Aspire to the highest fame among mortals, but yield to the goddess. With humble voice ask for pardon for your rash presumption. She will forgive you if you submit to her.
Alas, the younger generation have little respect for old people. Really, Ariadne is a horrible young woman. She addresses her thus. Old crone, you come here void of understanding and doting under the weight of age. It is your misfortune to have lived so long. If ye have any daughter or daughter-in-law, reserve from them these sage reproofs. I am sufficient for my own conduct, nor stand in need of advice. and to make you sensible how little your admonitions prevail, no, I'm still of the same mind. I challenge your goddess. Let her speak for herself. Does she fear the contest? The old woman throws off her cloak and reveals herself of Pallas Athena, with her helmet of gold, her flowing cloak, and her great spear and shield veiled with Medusa's head. All sink on one knee in reverence, save Arachne, who remains standing, arms folded. Let the fates deal with me as they will. I, a mortal, will make contest with thee. Who shall judge between us?
Hermes, who travelleth between darkness and light, Olympus and Hades, shall determine the outcome. Arachne, show forth thy art.
All form a ring, wondering what is going to happen, and full of fear. Arachne produces a great tapestry. She shows her work, which is, well, she describes it, you can make up your own mind. I portray the sublimest work of nature, the spider's web. Look at my work. In perfect spiral curve, adorned with crystal dewdrops, it entices many an unwary fly into its suffocating embrace. Observe their useless struggles, caught in sticky strands. Ruling as queen within the web so skilfully woven from her own body, the spider sits and waits. She devours her lawful prey, one by one, at leisure. Do not all natural creatures feed upon each other? Thy owl, Athena, is wise indeed. It is skill in catching mice. And I depict love also. Behold the spider's marriage. What a wonder is her nuptial dance with her mate, as she glides with silken feet over her web unharmed. Nor does she, secure with future eggs, intend to kill her spouse. Only if he lacks speed at the end of love's engagement is he by chance devoured by his wife. What a horrible girl. Immediately a lot of arachnids spring forward, wild dancers, all dance in black. They make the dance of the spider's marriage. Watch them. All the anger in you lets you dance out of your system. Dance. Everything naughty. Dance. Any suppressed violence. Dance. 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 The black arachnids dance wildly, bending to and fro, weaving a web around the temple, around the pillars, around the sacred well, everywhere. Like little spiders, they dance. A few men decide to be flies, and they dance as flies. Arachne looks on, laughing, arms folded. Athena turns her back. Pandrosus covers her face. dare not suppress rage in you, righteous rage, at the despoiling of the earth, at cruelty, at all the suffering. Dance with anger, dance, join in. We must accept that the deities permit our devouring, and those who deplore the spider eat their Sunday lunch. And what does that consist of? Reflect on what you eat yourself before you condemn the arachnids. Do we not devour people with our demands, eating up their lives for selfishness? Asking. We all devour. And do we not let ourselves be devoured like the poor flies? Let others prey upon us. This is the dance of nature here on earth. Dance ceases with the flies lying flat dead and the arachnids with their arms held up in triumph. Hermes speaks.
Marvellous and horrible, who may excel this work of nature which hath in it the terrible humour and tragedy of humble insect existence? It would seem that the young Arachne hath won the contest.
Oh, it was absolutely marvellous. Our artist of reality hath prevailed. Hail the victory of a mortal.
Think you so? What may a mortal with no true knowledge portray save pictures of meaningless cruelty and direful death? Only the artist inspired by the immortals may portray truth. Behold, I draw a picture of the divine sphere, of which this earth is but a shadow. With my far-seeing art I show the progress of the soul through the ages. After death all receive their due reward, and the spirits of the just are purified, until they are free from the taint of all evil. No fly dies in vain, for its tiny soul attains a greater life. Wonder at the beauty of Elysium, beloved of the Muses and the Graces. For the souls of the just, Helios shines in strength while on earth 'tis night. They dwell amidst meadows red with roses in their beautiful city, which is shaded by the incense tree, laden with golden fruits. Some disport themselves with sports and lyres, while beside them bloometh the fair flower of bliss. And o'er that lovely land of smoke of fragrant incense rises from far shining fires on the altars of the deities, while the bodies of all creatures are subject to overmastering death, their spirits remain alive, for they come from the immortal deities. As the spirit sleepeth, the limbs are active on earth, yet to them that sleep I give fair dreams that presage the glories of Elysium, home of the poets and philosophers.
Oh, how beautiful! Athena and priestesses, her priestesses of Pandrosus and white and gold, give the dance of heaven, which is Elysium. Join this dance of heaven. Of course, evil is only transient, unreal. The fly lives on. Dance, dance. The spiders have their part. Here they harm none. There's no evil in heaven, for if there was evil, it would not be heaven. Rejoice. They glide around the temple in stately measure, beautiful, no disharmony, sanctifying each shrine of delicate arm movements, and Pandrosus leads them all, glorying in her love for Athena. They glide round the holy well and through the Holy of Holies, Star Chapel. They venerate the All-Mother, glide through the 5 chapels. Join them. Feel, now you do know the deities exist, you feel like a shower of silver right through your body, flowing through your limbs. You can share it with others. Dance with the joy of Elysia, poets, all artists, musicians. Arachne has rather sulkily turned her back with the arachnids. They won't even look. Yes, of course, why dwell on evil or anything unpleasant at all? Ignore it. Turn to the good, the real. Life is but a fleeting shadow where we learn experience. Fix our souls upon heaven, and nothing can touch us. And we bless all those whose lives touch ours. We heal, not through gazing upon the injury, the psychological sickness, but rather see the person as whole and well, and so they become, for we acknowledge the divine in them, offspring of the deity. The dance is, in this case, gently ending. The priestesses and priests, all united in white, move towards the altar and form a graceful circle, arms entwined in love and gentleness. Hermes is overcome with wonder. He speaks.
Athena has won the contest. Her divine arts give us hope and bliss and the assurance of immortality.
Pandrosus is joyful.
A wise judgment, for who would choose the cruelty of nature rather than the felicity of Elysium? Light hath conquered darkness. Pallas hath won the olive crown of victory. Arachne, veil your face for shame.
At this utter moment of retreat, when people could almost see Arachne shrivel into a wretched spider to be trodden upon or drowned, suddenly she changes. Hermes has presented the wreath to Athena and then hesitates in alarm and steps back holding the wreath. Arachne throws her black veil from her and reveals herself as a goddess with diamond tiara and violet robes. Know that I am Lachesis, weaver of the web of fate. All sink to one knee, save Athena. I am the matrix. From my dark body I spin the universal web. Within its spiral, glittering like dewdrops, shine the constellations. There is no light that is not born from my primordial darkness, no noble deed that has not been strengthened through fear of me. I test the soul. I draw every trembling creature through the meshes of cause and effect. None can escape my binding destiny. Even the immortal gods obey the fates. What artist has not suffered for his work, nor maiden who has not struggled to keep her integrity? Out of evil cometh good, for what worth is the virtue that hath not endured ordeal? Whether good or evil is chosen, reward or punishment bestowed, all obey the law of Moira, which is Nemesis. All gaze in awe, for Lachesis is manifesting one of the three fates. Hermes speaks.
To the awakened soul there is no contest here. The bright Athena bears the night owl, and Arachne hath the light upon her brow. These twain are sisters. Dawn and twilight bring night and day into colourful harmony, and winter and summer blend in this lovely spring. Hearken to my judgment. Pallas Athena and Arachne both win the prize.
Priestesses present 2 garlands to Hermes. He presents one to Athena, the other to Lachesis, Arachne. All now chant. Darkness and light are one, day and night are one, winter and summer one, nature and art are one, Arachne and Athena sisters, Arachne, Athena, Now comes a dance of the Arachnids in black and the nymphs and followers of Athena in white, and all mingle, men and women, black and white, in a joyful dance. Do this. Feel night and day in you. Feel whole. This is the equinox. Be at one and dance. are never whole if we regard darkness with fear. Darkness is the womb from which we came. Darkness is the dark passage before we attain the other light. Light springs from darkness. Throw aside all your fears and phobias at once. Why not do it now? Any phobias you've got, just throw out. Some people have spider phobia. I managed to help her by saying, within the heart of the spider is a golden sun. And this is true. Because within the dark earth itself that we dread is a hidden sun. Spark of light is in all things. And some have a phobia about the light. They're not claustrophobes, they're agoraphobes. They're afraid of space. They want to hide their heads under pillows. They disappear in blankets. Some children do this in a fetal position. Light is friendly. Light shows you things. But do you fear what light is going to show you? Are you afraid of the Medusa's head of truth? What do you fear that fear the light? And what do you fear that fear the darkness? The darkness shows forth that which we hide. The light exposes what we have done. Face these two sisters, and you will be holy. The company gently finish their dance, and the priestess speaks.
Fellow celebrants, let us contemplate the mystery of Pallas Athena and Arachne.
Gently, the actresses and actors leave the stage. The priesthood return and all sit together in meditation on the meaning of this mystery. For Athena has the Gorgon's head concealed by a veil. Writhing snakes, yet do you not feel a writhing tingling in your head sometimes? Your heart. She has the owl of wisdom of darkness, though she holds the spear of light. And the spider has a jewel on her brow, and lays many eggs, creative. See the good in any situation, in any person you hate. That's a good meditation. See the good in anything you really dislike or fear, and you'll be free. And the world will be free. For the world is what we create. It's our work of art. The earth is there. We invent the world, don't we? Now we hear the priest give thanks to Pallas Athena and to Arachne.
Let us give thanks to Pallas Athena and to Arachne.
People are giving reports of what they experience, but we seem to hear them at a distance. It's as if everything was beginning to blur and change. We know that they're going to have a happy celebration. We know that they will have their festival feast. But that's not food you and I can enjoy. We can enjoy their ceremony, but not their earthly food. Come, it is time for you to leave. We rise above the Temple of Isis, through the castle, which is now like a mist, and we ascend into the sky of evening, and we look down on the classical garden, with long golden sun rays upon closely mown grass, the yew trees set out in a pattern, the belvedere, shrine of Flora. We rise above the castle and look down upon the violet hills at the spring equinox, this time of evening where day and night blend, and know that whenever day and night blend at dawn and dusk, we can attune ourselves to the rainbow network of whatever spiritual religion we follow, as we do in the Fellowship of Isis. Come back now to your own time and place. Come back, that's it. Don't rush out into traffic for about half an hour, and I advise drinking a glass of water or a cup of tea. I'm Olivia Robertson of the Fellowship of Isis. Write to us at any time, and I've been helped in this reenactment of our ceremony by my brother Lawrence Durden Robertson, the priestess Hierophant Caroline Wise of the Lyceum of the Isis of Time and Space, College of Isis, and of John Merrin, also priest Hierophant of that Lyceum, and our member, and Cheryl Cohen, and perhaps they'd all like to greet you, to give you their good wishes and blessings.
We give you our good wishes and blessings.
Blessings of Isis.
And John Merrin, priest Hierophant of the same Lyceum.
Blessings of Isis to you.
Cheryl Cohen, our member. Your good wishes and blessings.